Hello, my beautiful people. This is Anna Sheriff again. Today, I want us to talk about the positive and negative effect of parental absence on our children. Parental absence can happen in different forms. For example, divorce, separation, incarceration, or the death of either one or both the parent. However, today I want us to focus on migration. Most often we travel and we leave our children in Africa or any other part of the world to come get a better life. However, we all know the absence of a parent is not only common, but also has its own consequences, with both long and short-term implications of the well-being of the child. So most often when we travel, we fail to talk to our children. We fail to ask them what our absence meant to them, how it impacted their lives. And this topic came to me by one of the participants that you're going to hear from. One day we were having a discussion and she said something about how her parent not being there affected her so badly. So I decided to do my own research. I did my own independent research and I did surveys. I did interviews with the help of two of my friends who were willing to interview their own children because I couldn't go into their homes due to COVID. And I want to thank the parents. I want to also thank their children for their willingness to participate in the interview and to help support this particular topic, because this is an important topic that we need to talk about. I believe we're not the only mothers who left their children back home. So this is an important topic that I'm bringing to light. And I know our generation now is a generation of 5-minute videos. Everybody just want to watch a quick video and then that's about it. However, this is not going to be a quick video. And I'm advising that if you really have a child, you have children, or even if you don't have a child, you might be a parent one day, listen to the entire video and I hope you are able to learn something from it. So we did interview 7 participants, including my son who was left behind. Most of them are adult now. However, one is still young, and you're going to hear directly from them. So this is going to be directly from their words, not mine. And then you're going to see how it impacted the absence of their parents, how it impacted them. Now, not every one of them had a bad experience, So we're going to hear from each and every one of them. But let us start with my son. So he's doing his own part of the interview today, and then you will hear more of from other participants as well, on their own stories and their own experiences when their parents were not with them. So, sir, can you introduce yourself, please?
Hello, my name is Lansana, and thanks for having me
here. Yeah, man. So this is Lansana, my son, my handsome son. Even though I told him to shave, he refused. But so can you please tell us some of your experiences, like the negative impact or positive impact that you had when we were not there? What how you felt about it?
The negative impact was when you guys left me when I was 4 years old, right? With my grandma. I don't remember much because they didn't tell me the reason of you guys leaving, because nobody talked to me about it. But my grandma, she ended up she took care of me, right? She studied me, helped me study, she told me oh, I want you to come do this, I want you to come do that, for my own good, she helped me a lot. She sometimes she'll call me can you come in the kitchen, let's just sit down and talk, or help me probably get something for her when she don't want to go get it. But it didn't feel right. The reason why it didn't feel right is because every time I go outside to go play with the kids, I got jealous.
So, why?
Well, the reason why, because I felt that my mom and my dad neglected me. They left me there with my grandma or they don't care about me. That's my thought in my head. So, but because they didn't explain the reason why, so I was like, okay,
So you said you felt neglected.
yes,
Why?
because you guys were not there.
So absence, was my mom not doing what she was supposed to do for you?
Nah, she took care of me, but it just don't feel right because you guys were not around. So when we came back to Freetown, suddenly my grandma passed away, which made me even sadder because she was the only person who actually have time for me, like come study, how was school. So when she passed away, I got stuck. I felt this way that nobody's gonna ask me how was school, do you have homework, come let's study.
But your aunt and your uncle were there.
Yeah, they were there. They although they loved me, they were still there, but they were not around like much, to like come study me. My uncle once in a while, like he would come like super nyaks, because that's how he always called me, like super nyaks, come here, let's come to 1 or 2 studying, get together. But my auntie, well, she got her own way of studying. She would whoop me really good. Like she would whoop me so good that make me scared. Like I got this feeling like, oh man, now here we go again. She about to come study me, but she about to whoop me even more.
So did that bring fear in you?
A lot. Like every time she calls my name, I start panicking.
To come study?
To come study. I love to study. Like I'll start sweating a lot.
Which you still do. Yeah. Even now when I call him to study, apparently he still thinks I'm my sister. Even when I call him to come study, he sweat. So that's why when he came, I got a tutor for him. But anyway, so because of that, your education, there was no one to help study. And when you panicked, you could not even comprehend what you were doing. The fear that make you afraid of her.
No, I'm not afraid of her. Just made me afraid of studying.
Studying, okay.
That's the whole. It just made me afraid of studying. Like I just, when I see a book, I'm like, that's my enemy. I just don't want to do. But things end up changing when you end up calling your friend and Tessa too, which was one of the nicest lady I've ever met. She end up taking care of me, as his own son. So she one time I was sitting down, like throwing rocks, and she was like, "Are you okay?" I'm like, I'm not okay, to be honest with you. She was like, "Why not?" I'm like, well, I have this feeling that my parents don't like me. They just left me here with my grandma. Now my grandma passed away, so I don't have anybody to talk to, and I'm lonely and I'm sad. So she was like, well, you got me here, I'm like your sister now. That's how she started opening the conversation like that. I'm like, you're pretty nice, ain't you? She was like, sometimes I can be mean. Okay. So that made me more wanna like open up to her. So she ended up trying to put me in a private school. So we went there, and then the principal that was there, she was not trying to accept me to attend the school because why? I don't know how to spell my name at that time. At the age of 14 years, I couldn't spell or read and write. They called my mom. That's what made me even more emotion, because my mom was on the phone. She was crying, all that. That just made me more sad. Till everything works out, she ended up saying, okay, you're gonna attend the school, things start getting improved a little bit, until I started to start helping me. I would start, reading, just the basic stuff, learn how to spell my name. That's how things started at first. And then sooner or later, well, she passed away, and then I just got sad. Like I feel this like
Yeah, Aisatu is my she was my friend, but she's gone. Every
Yeah.
time I talk about her, I'm emotional because I know the kind of person she was in my life and what she did for him as well. So yeah, so what he's talking about, like I said, his story is my story. I was not physically present, but mentally I was, because everything he was going through, I was going through it. So the incident he's talking about, when he moved in with my friend, with Isa to he could not spell his name at the age of 14. And when they went to this private school, the admissions office refused to grant him admission to the school. So when my friend called me, I was really upset and I was crying on the phone. So the owner of the school actually came in and took the phone from her. She had me crying, and she talked to me. She said it was the same thing. She used to live in Delaware. She left her children, and it was the same thing they did to her. Her family did to her. Her kids could not learn, and that is when she decided to go open a school in Sierra Leone. So because of that, because the lady had lived in America before, so she decided to take my son, not because of his merit, because he couldn't even spell his name, he couldn't even tell time. So this is the thing. When we leave our children back home, we trust our people. We are leaving them with family. But his own thing is he was afraid.
So yeah, and I enroll in the school, start doing well, and tested to start teaching me like the basic, like how to spell my name, how to spell cup, tell time, all that. And then couple months, she passed away too. And that made me really, really sad, like really sad to the maximum, that I'm like, I've never been this sad before in my whole life. My parents not here. My grandma just passed away. Now she's gone, and I'm stuck. So I end up moving in with to sister Auntie Ai, Uncle Hassan, and
Their mom,
mom
Agnes,
Agnes, Auntie Agnes,
and Mahmoud and all that.
the whole family doing really, really nice, like to help me out, to take care of me, which was good. And then I end up attending Zenit. That's the school. The name of the school, Zenit. Still, I was still having the problem spelling my name, but until I know the situation that was going on between me and her sister was trying to help. So she told me all the basics. I'm like, cool. But when I turned 15, my mom brought me here in the US, which I was really happy about.
So everybody, I'm asking everybody the same question. Sexual assault is most of the time, were you sexually abused?
I was never sexual abused.
Okay, because he told me that they were sexually abused. Now, those who know me knows I would have gone after that person. I'm glad. He said enough. If I did, he would have told me who, and I would have gone after him. But that is one question I want to ask: how long, when an abuse have gone, how long will it take for us to go after those people? Because children are children, we should keep their innocence. Nobody should be touching them. So I'm glad. So, what was your experience when you came here?
My first experience was when I came here. You just lay things right away forward, like don't do this, don't lie, don't steal. If you need something, just come to me and talk about it. Like you just point it right out, like so I can be like, okay, she's she's there. So and I had fun. The one thing I enjoyed the most was when we went to the movie theater the first time. Cause in Sierra Leone, the cinema was like this is too small. So when I saw I'm like, whoa, this can be a whole house, like And I had fun, and then went to go shopping, all that, and then the thing that shocked me the most was when you told me we're going somewhere for a ride. So we went for. I'm like, oh, all right, yeah, I'm about to go explore the city more. Enjoy the American life. So I was excited. So we keep driving. I'm like, where we going? And I end up fell asleep in the car. Then we got to the destination, and then she was like, "We're here." I'm like, "Wait." You're like, "Right here." And I'm looking at her. My eyes looking at her this way, and then my eyes looking at the police station. I'm like, "Why we here?" That's the first question. I was like, "Why?" You like, "Oh no, just don't worry. Everything work out." So she saw these two officers. She talked to them. She was like, "My son just came from Freetown, and I just want you guys to tell him the ins and outs. If he messed up, what's the consequences gonna be? What's gonna happen to him?" So they break it down for me. One thing I remember, one of the officers told me was, listen to your mom. Don't do anything crazy. Don't steal. Don't lie. If you join any gang member, if you know something bad is happening, just leave as fast as you can. Just leave. Because if you end up doing the stuff that you're not supposed to be doing, you're gonna lock up for life. So I was like,
so that's exactly what I did.
That's what she did, and I was surprised when she did it.
I took him to the police station 2 weeks when he came here. That was my own method of, I went, thank God there were two officers sitting there at the police station, and I explained to them, I said, this boy just came from Sierra Leone. I need you guys to, open the juvenile section for him, just to go see the young guys that are there, just in case he end up messing up his own life. He will be there. The officers looked at me like I was really mad. And then they told me, well, Mom, we cannot do that, but we will sit and talk with him. So that's exactly what they did. They advised him, and since that day, knock on the wood, I have not been called to his school for any misbehavior, nor has any police officer come to my house. Every day he goes to work, he comes home, So I believe that method worked, That was how I bet I put some fear in him, if I might say, I don't know. But that is what I did, and thanks to God, we have been cool. So what is another positive of you being here, or negative, whichever?
There's no negative since I've been here. It's just positive because now I got time to spend with my mom, although my dad is not around anymore. But you're my mom and dad. That's always, every time it's Father's Day, I'm like, Happy Father's Day. You're like, what? So, you look at me like, huh?
Wish me Happy Father's Day as well.
Happy Father's Day, Happy Mother's Day. Cause she is both already, so she's all in one.
Because his father passed away when he was 4 years. When we came, when he was 5, a year when we came, his father passed away. So that's why every Father's Day he will wish me Happy Father's Day, because I've been both the mother and the father, which is what a lot of single parents go through. So well, thank you for doing this. Do you have anything to say to anybody, like any advice to any parent or any kid that is left behind?
Well, my advice to kid is don't think the way I was thinking, that your parents neglect you or they just don't care about you. Now, the reason why they did that is because they want to come to the US to come get a better life for the both of you guys, for you and for them as well. Just think positive. Don't think negative. Just go with the flow. Just do you. Just always focus, and that's it. And thank you for having me here.
I want to thank you for doing this too, because I'm doing this interview, and since you are my son, you have to be part of it. I had to drag him today to be part of this, so thank you. So as we've all heard from my son, I know he struggles. Him and I went through it. Our absence, created that void in him, and it affected his education, as he rightly stated. And I can attest to it because I struggled with him. And I'm still struggling with him, because when he came, I had to get him a tutor, both math and English tutors. And one of them used to come to the house, and the other one he used to go meet at the school. So it is a struggle when we leave our children over there, and we do our best. We send money. It's not like we're neglecting them. And as you heard, he thought we neglected him, which was not the intention. Our intention is to come here and get a better life. Also, something that we didn't talk about in the video. He used to move. I used to move him from one place to another just to get a better place for him to stay. And then finally, my friend took him, and he struggled in there for a while, just like one of my other participants who does not want to be on camera because she's shy. She's my friend. She was also left at a very tender age with her aunt, and she was gracious enough to tell me her own side of the story. However, she said the absence of her parent, affected her seriously, especially with her education, because the aunt she was left with, who was actually supposed to be a mother figure to her, decided to let her stay home for 2 years to take care of her own children. 2 years. And within that 2 years, her mother was sending money for her education. However, she wasn't going to school. How can an aunt do that to her niece? You're supposed to be a mother figure to her. She was just a child, just like your own children. However, she let her stay home. A child taking care of a child, just for her to take care of her children. And this affected her education. But however, she's a strong cookie, so she persevered, and thank God today she can proudly say she has her own degree she's trying to pursue, However, this is the problem that we have with our relatives when we left our children back home. No disrespect to anyone. However, we are here struggling. We're working most of the time. Some people don't even come home. They work 2-3 jobs. Sometimes these people don't understand what we actually go through here, especially when you leave your heart behind, your children. When you leave them behind, you struggle. You don't want them to suffer. I used to send money every month. I was so accustomed to sending money every month that when my son went to my friend's sister, Auntie Aye, after I sent the first money, and then the next month I wanted to send the money, she goes, no, you don't have to send money. I said, why? She goes, well, the money you sent last month, I still have it. I was in shock because I was so accustomed in sending money every month when my sister, when my sister and my mom had my son. And now this is a complete different person telling me, oh, the money you sent last month is still there. Which is exactly what happened to my friend who was left with her aunt. She said everything her mom used to send, they never gave it to her. If they give it to her, it was the leftover. She said she was moving from one place to another. And aunt would go get her. And then one day her brother went and stole her from aunt and took her somewhere. He hid her somewhere. And he was looking for her everywhere. So thanks to the brother who actually saved her, and removed her from that environment, because that was a toxic environment where you let a child stay home for 2 years and you never even cared for her. You didn't even care whether she was going to school or not, whether the absence of her parent affected her. You didn't care about her opinion. You didn't care about how she felt. This is my friend. She was a child. And this is what some of our family members do to us. They don't understand what we go through here for our children. Also, another participant that I interviewed, he himself don't want to be on camera because he's shy as well. He expressed the same thing, the same concern with education. For him, he said his uncle that he left him with was never there. He used to travel everywhere. He was never around. And the times that he's around, that's when the 2 days he's around, he wants to be strict on them. You shouldn't speak to any woman, And he also said they used to, they took him as a housemaid. He used to go out and sell pepper, and when the parents called, they would tell his mom and dad that, oh, your son is a troublemaker, whilst actually he's out there selling stuff for them, whilst the children are staying home. So this is the struggle our children goes through when we leave them back there. And now they label him as a troublemaker because he was never home when the parent called. The parent didn't know he was actually out in the streets selling pepper, selling stuff for the family. And he also said the other struggle was food. He said they only ate one time a day. Even when the parents send money, and only one meal a day. Just imagine. Just imagine 1 meal a day. And the parents are here struggling, sending money every month, and their child only ate 1 meal a day. Now let's think about that. So that's why I'm advising parents, please watch this whole video so you hear the perspective of our children, and hopefully you'll be able to learn from it. As I mentioned earlier, not everyone had a bad experience. Let us listen to Miss Marie. Her mom was gracious enough to do her interview for me. Let's listen to her.
Okay, Marie. How did you feel when you were back home, not being with mommy and daddy? I felt good. I felt happy.
As we can hear Miss Marie, she said she felt good and she felt happy being with her grandparents. She was left with her grandparents. Let's continue to listen to her.
Well, I had what I needed, so I didn't really need stuff that I couldn't get because I had everything that I wanted. Okay. So did you miss mommy and daddy? Did you ever miss living with mommy and daddy whilst you were with grandma and grandpa? Well, not really, because I don't remember living with them. No, I don't really remember living with them, so I didn't really miss them. You really didn't miss them? Even though they were calling you, you didn't really miss them? Yes. Was that part of it, because they were calling you, that made you not miss them? I think so. You think so? Yes.
That was so sweet. She was so well taken care of. She didn't even miss her parents. That is nice, because at least we have some grandparents and trusted people that that our children were left with, and they were able to care for them in that manner. So let's continue again to listen to her, because her experience is so cute. She doesn't even miss mom and dad, because grandma and grandpa, they took care of things.
How was it when mommy came down? It was the first time, like, you saw me. You seen me when you were a kid. So like when I came down a couple of years ago, how was it? Well, it was okay. It was okay. Yeah. But you didn't have that. Yeah. It wasn't there, right? Yeah. That you've missed your mom. Yeah. And you had to hug her. Yeah. You didn't have that. Yeah. All you knew was grandma and grandpa.
Mm-hmm.
So you were okay. Yeah. Because you had all that you needed. Yeah. So you didn't miss them. Yeah. So what would you say? Was it a good thing for you as you compare yourself being back home and now? Was it good for you? What are some of the good things that you got living in Ghana? Well, if you compare Ghana and here, what are some of the good things you would say happened to you when you were in Ghana? Well, the friends, the people in Ghana, because Ghana, the discipline, like the country is respect and don't talk to the teachers anyhow, but here, not all the kids that respect the teachers. So this place, you are able to discern, right? Yes. So that's one thing that we liked about Ghana, staying back home in Ghana. Yes, and it was easier to talk to my friends in Ghana. In Ghana. Yes. So this place, is it difficult for you to make friends? No, it wasn't difficult for me to make friends, but I don't really have anything to talk about my friends here. But you think you would, right? As the days go by. Yes. Yes. So tell parents that are planning to take their kids back home. Tell them something. Advise parents, like when they have the chance traveling, if they are back home in Africa, if they have the chance traveling, would you advise them to take their kids, or you would advise them to leave their kids and later on go for them? I would advise them to take their kids. Take their kids.
You know, his experience is so great that he wants parents to leave their kids back in Africa, and that is his own that is our own experience. You know, our experience is really great. So she didn't have to face what other participants had to go through. She didn't go through that. So let's listen to her final words.
Like when you are back home, they can leave their kids here. We are talking about what you experience, right? Yes. So you advise parents to take their kids back home if they have the chance. If they give birth to them, like your situation. Yeah, they should take them back home. Why? Because they can. It's going to be easier for them because it's going to be easier for them because the kids are going to have discipline there. Because if you don't do the right thing, then like they can beat you, but here it's not like that. They can be punished, right? Yeah, you'll be disciplined. Yes.
Well, discipline is cool.
Like yes, especially in school. So that's one thing we do not like about this place. Yes. Okay. So, are you happy being here now? Yes. As compared to being in Ghana? Well, it's the same thing, right? Yes. It's the same thing because you get a chance to talk to grandma and grandpa every day. Yes. Okay. Thank you for having this chat with me. I appreciate it so much. Okay, you're welcome. Thank you.
And I also want to thank her and her mother for really doing this to bring awareness to the struggles and not all of them have struggles as Miss Marie. So, but thanks to them. Also, we did another participants we're going to hear from are two of my friends' children. She also interviewed them, you know, on their own experience. She was here. They were fortunate enough, they had one parent. Their dad was left behind, so they were with their father and they all came here together. So let's listen to them.
Well, on the positive standpoint of my mom being in America or States was that we thought we could get whatever we wanted, like shoes, basketball, games, and every other stuff.
On my point of view, I thought I had more independence. I got to go out more often without being restricted. I had to have fun with my friends. I had a lot of freedom to do whatever I wanted.
Well, in terms of negative and to, take care of us, but instead we had nannies we went through like about 3 nannies. That was sick. I was like, yo, I can't do this thing no more,
And with my negative, I didn't have a mother and daughter relationship. I thought if I had that, I would be able to know some girly stuff, the things that girls talk about, things that a lady needs to know while she's growing up. I didn't get to have all that, so I had to do all those stuff by myself because I couldn't go ask my dad because it was a lady stuff and not a guy stuff. So yeah, that is basically all that we would say about having the positive and negative of having our mother here in the state. Thanks for asking us. Please.
When you came to America, what was your relationship with your mom?
At first, we were just having fun, nothing to worry about, and then school started. And then it was like, yo, you have to learn because this is your only chance, this is your only opportunity to, get up there,
With me, I thought I could finally get to have build a relationship with my mom. I felt happy to get to see her more often, get to talk to her, and yeah, that's one positive about having her.
Well, I guess one negative about her being, us being with her was that, we were restricted a lot.
Yes.
We were restricted a lot.
Of course. That's mom.
We couldn't go anywhere. But now it's better, but still.
I mean, I understood why because she knew that we didn't know a lot about this country, and with a lot going on, especially with the gun shooting and kids being beaten up and stuff. So she wanted to protect us. Yeah, then we didn't understand because we were young and we felt like she was restricting us. As time went on, we felt like she actually helped us, and now we know the right things to do.
So that was the other interviews we did with the 2 participants. Thanks to them, and thank you guys for really doing this. I appreciate you, and thanks to their mom as well. I really appreciate what you guys did. I'm very grateful that you guys were able to share your own experience and add your voices to this particular project that we are trying to do. We are trying to bring awareness to our communities that things like this are happening, I continue to say not everyone has a bad experience. However, there are a lot of people who do have bad experiences, and some of them were sexual. Sometimes some people were sexually assaulted. My former participant who did not come on camera, both of them also were asked the same questions. What were their relationship with their parents when they came? And both of them said they were withdrawn. The guy said he was always in his room, because there was no relationship. And what I can advise is when we bring our children here, let us try to build that relationship with them. Even though yes, they come here, maybe sometimes they're over 15. My son came at the age of 15, and I tried my best to talk to him and be my friend, However, not every one of them have those experiences. So my advice is, please, when you bring your children, sit and have a discussion with them. Try to build up that relationship. Those lost years, you can build it back, just by talking, just by listening to them. Ask them questions. Let us listen to final participant, Miss Audrey. her experience. She went through a lot of ordeal, but I would like for you guys to hear it from her.
Hi, I'm Audrey, and I'm just here to do video.
Yeah, today we're doing a survey, like a research on children, the negative and positive impact on children when the parent leave them in Africa. So can you share with us a story? Like, I just need 2 of your negative and 2 of your positive,
Okay.
and then the impact that it created on you when you came. How was your relationship with your parent?
Okay, so I'll start with the negative. So the negative part of leaving, I would say, even though I know it's not the parents' intention of doing so, but it does affect the children, in different ways. So one of the negative part I would say is that leaving your child with somebody, even though you do trust the person or you think you trust the person that you're leaving your child to, might not be the best. It might not be the best solution for the child. Okay. Because this person is not there 24/7, or even if they are present in the house, they're not there. I mean, you as a child, the way I was raised, I'm Creole, by the way. So it depends on your culture. You don't sit where grown-ups are,
True.
Kids always have to be back there, and when they're back there, you don't know what's going on.
Oh,
back there.
but true. That is a good point, though, because when we say, that when the grown-ups are sitting there and the kids cannot come closer to us,
exactly.
And you push them and say, go sit over there.
Exactly.
Just like you just said, you don't know what they're doing. Can you share with us?
And there's no communication. You know how you have communication with
my son.
With your son, maybe sitting down, maybe how was school or something. Most people don't do that because they're not your biological parents.
So who do they leave you with?
My mother left when I was 2 years old, and my dad left when I was 5. But my dad was not present in the house where I was left. It was quite a distance. He was like Morristown, and then I was in Brookfield.
Okay.
Yeah. So like I was saying, when the kids are back there, you don't know what's going on. All you know is like maybe if they cause in trouble, if they cause in trouble, definitely you will know, right? But if they get abused or any kind of abuse, assault or sexually back there, you don't know that.
Were you abused?
Yes, I was abused, and
sexually?
In different ways.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, in different ways. Sexually was one, and then also I call this abuse because when they're keeping their children home and then sending you to go buy stuff, just using you as a housemaid,
like a maid,
and you're not really a maid, and you thought you were different because you were like, let me say, closer family, So I was sent to go get water. excuse my.
That's okay. We're speaking the Creole too. Yes, we mix it up.
Yeah,
no matter.
And then also come back clean. Even when my parents were sending money and stuff for me, I wouldn't know even what they bought. Or whatever they buy me, that's what I wear. And my mom, like, when it comes to clothes and shoes, like, according to what I used to hear, my mom sent them from here, from America, to there, big boxes. But then when they get there, they take everything for their own kids. Whatever they don't want, then they give me. But then, I was little, so I just go with the flow, There's not really nothing for me to do about it. And even when the parents called, they tell you what to say on the phone. If you don't, they beat you up.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, what did they used to tell you to say?
Oh, they'll tell you what to say. Like, tell your mama for send money. It was mostly about money. Tell your mama for send money. Tell her, say you want this, you want that. You know, a whole lot. And tell her, say you're doing fine when sometimes you're not even doing fine. You know.
How was school? Were you?
Well, that's a different topic. School-wise, you know how you as a parent will be so involved in your kid's life.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't have that because they let me do whatever I want. And there was nobody there to actually put me down, sit me down, you know, teaching me the basic steps, you know, the very important steps, academic-wise. And that's why sometimes, like, I lack in some things, you know, that shouldn't be, you know, but which I did learn as I was growing up when I came here.
So I want to go back to that sexual assault, right? Who do you know your abuser?
Yeah, I do.
And what was
people
the
that
effect?
you know.
what was the effect on you then and now?
Well, then, okay, I started getting abused by two different people.
How old?
Two different people. So the age was that I can remember. It could have been earlier, but I can remember about 6, 7 years old. Yeah.
Just like the Khadija.
Right. About 6, 7 years old. And then, it's hard to talk about.
It's all right. If that's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we can go back to another topic. You want to talk about the nightmares?
Yeah. So as a result of all of that abuse and, you know, stuff that was happening, I was having a whole lot of nightmares. Every night, almost every night, I was having nightmares. And there was even a point where I mean, they were saying, like, when I wake up in the morning, they were saying that I was sleepwalking, because I would you go to bed laying in one place, and then next minute, maybe in the morning, you wake up in the living room or something.
Is that due to somebody moving you?
I'm sure.
Yeah,
because it only happened for a short time. It only happened for a short time, you know. So
they did that imaginary sleepwalk on you, like
right.
You are you.
Right. So it's crazy though. It's very
So
hard.
were there any other effect on you, like besides the nightmares you used to have? Actually.
Behavior-wise, yeah, I become aggressive and
defensive.
I didn't feel like anybody should tell me what to do.
Yeah.
You know. Yeah, I felt like I was grown, and you know, well, at that age, from 10, 11, I felt like I was grown.
Because the grown men are sleeping with you.
Right. Did that to me.
So I've heard that they said most people who are sexually abused when they are young, especially for women, they become very defensive. They are guard. You already said that your guard is always up because there was it because there was no one to protect you?
I guess. I think
okay.
You always have this anger, hot temper.
Yeah, because you saw the research I did.
Yeah, hot temper. And you're ready to defend yourself, and when you're always ready to defend yourself, that becomes rebellious. They label you as being rebellious, bad child.
So one thing I would say to that is this is why most of the time when we see a female being defensive, or even a male, because sometimes men don't show reaction too much. But women, we are easy to show our own emotions. So when you see a woman being defensive, don't judge them. This is my own thing.
That's true.
You have to really. Now I'm learning that, because honestly, I'm learning it because I started doing this program, and I started doing research, and that's how I learned that most times women become very defensive by doing more of research. And thanks to you, now you have already said that. And also there's a lady that they call Cassava, something that it is Sierra Leonean, and she has
I was watching something about that.
Yeah, she has already explained her own story. Everybody knows her story, and that's exactly one thing. When Khadija was raped, that was one of her own thing that she said, that when a woman is raped multiple times and there was no one to defend them, they become their own defense mechanism.
Right.
So you put that up, so that's why the way she react, people don't even want to know her story. They just think she's rude,
right?
But it's not rudeness.
You like man, you do this. That's not in your head.
Okay.
You know.
Yeah, the label. In a way, there's a label, and this is one thing our society really needs to start to understand, that not every woman is rude.
Exactly.
Not every woman is crazy as they want to term us. For you to understand somebody's emotion, please ask them. You know, how did your parents feel though? Because I know you said they found out when they were in Banjul. I know the guilt. I don't know.
Yeah, so they found out, whoever, I don't know if it was a doctor or whoever spoke to them, or whoever I was staying with in Banjul, spoke to them. Basically, my mom, my dad didn't know anything. Obviously, you know, the mothers will try to hide things from the father, obviously. Yeah, so later, years passed, when we had a family meeting, and then they kept asking me, why am I so bad? Why am I so this and that? Like, I don't listen, you know, I'm rude. You know, so I came out and I told them, I'm like, where were you guys when this
when they were sexually
so that's the time my dad was there, that's the time he heard it, and he had never knew anything about that.
And what was his reaction?
So, yeah, I mean, he apologized to me.
Okay.
And my mom too, so that's why I just decided to let it go.
Okay, good.
So the best thing, I mean, it's not easy to forgive, but I won't blame them because they were not really, you know, they were not there.
Yeah,
I'm sure if they were there, that probably would not happen.
Yeah, because this is what happens most of the time. When we leave our children over there, we leave them with trusted people that we think we trust. However, like you said, this culture of children should not be around adults. This is where the problems start. Like you said, they don't even know what was happening to you, those adults in that house.
She didn't know until I went to Banjul and some other people that I was living there because I fainted and, you know.
Wow, you were not pregnant.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Like I said, I don't know anything. Everything that happened to me, the only thing I knew, I passed out in the middle of the living room. And the next minute, I woke up in the hospital, and I was I think I was like 11 years old,
going 12,
11 or 12, and I had already started having my period and stuff. So I don't know. It took me a couple of years to actually adjust, but I actually really got over it and then just forgive.
Okay.
Forget. I try to forget.
You try to forget.
But it's hard. Yeah. But it took me like when I already started having kids. That's when I just decided to let it go. Okay,
good. So if you were to sit face to face with your abusers today, what would you tell them?
First I would ask them what were they thinking? I mean, what was going through their mind? If now I'm sure their fathers, they have their own kids. I'm sure they have girls. You know, I would ask them, if that was to happen to your child, what would you do? Like, how would you feel? What would, how would you act?
Yeah. So, I don't even know. Would they remember?
Maybe sometimes they wouldn't even remember. I don't know.
Or maybe they just don't want to.
Wired differently.
Maybe they won't want to. I don't know if they see you. Have you ever met them since you left that place? Did you meet them face to face? No.
Well, actually, the younger one. The younger one was a couple of years ago. I think contacted me on was it Facebook? I think Facebook.
What did he want?
No, he contacted me on Facebook because obviously he was still friends with the family and somebody had passed away,
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So that's how he contacted me and apologized.
Oh, he apologized.
And he said he's a pastor now. I was like, interesting.
But you know, okay.
But he's still in Africa.
Okay, so that is a good point that you made though, because he actually reached out and apologized to you. So meaning he knew exactly what he was doing.
Yeah, obviously.
Because he called and apologized.
I'm sure that was in his head all this time.
Most times people don't. Maybe now that he knows the scriptures, now that he's a pastor,
maybe recall and then think, oh, what I was doing was bad. But like I said, I forgive. I don't hold grudges for too long.
So the older one never reach out?
Nah, that older one, I would say, is maybe right now is way older. So I don't know. I don't even know if he's still alive.
I just don't comprehend how can you just decide to because to me that's rape a 6-year-old child. And you know it happened, you said it was happening multiple times, even way when you were younger than that. I know it's not easy, we are coming to get American dream, but just from your own experience, if you have anything that you want to say to us as parents and to those abusers as well, please, and to encourage young women and young men, because both women and men are going through this.
Right, that's true. That's very true. So what I would want to say is mostly to the parents, you know, that I know it's not an easy thing, you know, it's not an easy thing to leave your child. It's not like anybody wants to leave their child behind, you know. But it's very hard as a parent, because now I'm a mother, you know. I don't want to leave my child anywhere. I don't even trust anybody, not even with their own parents. I mean, their own father. You know, I don't even trust anybody. I think that just messed me up, you know. That I can't even trust, even like I would say my partner, I can't even trust them, you know. No, I can't. And I'm happy that I'm able to talk to my kids about that. I'm not shy. Like, I talk to my kids. So I want parents to talk, you know, sit down, have a conversation with your children. Tell them if there's any inappropriate touching or anything, anybody, even just talking words inappropriately from other people, or even from the people who are in the family, uncles, aunties, or as long as it's inappropriate, you know, they should let you know. They should talk to them, you know. And even if you do have a child who has gone through that, through any abuse or anything, I mean, sit down and talk to them. All some people need is a listening ear, you know. Yeah. Sit down and talk to them. Don't be too quick to judge them. Don't say, oh, you were like this, that's why this happened. No. You know, I mean, just be a parent. I know it's hard, especially single parents. Like now, I'm a single parent. I'm a single mother of 2 kids. It's difficult because I have to work, you know, and I have to leave my kids somewhere. But just, it's God. I would say, just keep them in prayers, and then call them. Talk on the phone, because some parents will go and leave their kids to babysitter and they don't even call to check. Maybe they'll call when they're babies, you know, but once they start growing up, they don't even call them that much or anything. I gave my kids telephone at a very young age. People thought I was crazy. Right. They thought I was crazy, but no, I wasn't crazy.
Because of your experience.
Exactly.
Because of your experience.
Right.
So thank you very much, Audrey. It takes courage, honestly. First of all, it takes courage for anyone who have been physically, mentally, sexually, everything abused, to even speak about their experience, and you are able to come and do it on camera. And my hope is to educate and encourage more discussions on issues like this, so that people can be aware that our children are being molested right in plain sight, and nobody's doing anything about it. And this culture of casting the children in the house, go sit over there, Children are not supposed to look adult in the eye. Children are not supposed to be with the adult when they are talking. All this culture, just like you just mentioned it, that had they involved you when in their conversations, the adult, you would not been abused.
Right.
They would have known what you're doing.
Even earlier, they should have known. Because I would probably say something.
You would have said something.
Right.
Had they educated you, now that we're educating our own children, like, if they touch you here, please let us know. Had they said that, you would have been confident enough to go to those people to explain.
As a child that young, you think that that's normal.
Yeah, exactly.
When it's not, that's not normal, you know.
Especially the older one. We don't even know who the older one is. Who maybe he has the respect in the house and nobody knew he was even doing that to you. You know, so, well, I thank you so much, Audrey. Thank you. I really appreciate. I hope this will help the cause that we are doing, and anytime I'm there for you whenever you need me. So, as we've heard from all of our participants, not all of them had bad experiences though. You know, like Miss Marie, she had a grandparent who took care of her and protected her to the point where she even forgot her own parent. She didn't forget them, but she didn't miss them. You know, and I don't know how my friend felt about that, but it's good. That shows how much grandma and grandpa took good care of her, of them, because it's two of them only. Marie spoke on the audio. You know, so and however, we saw that 4 out of those 7 participants struggled with education, you know, because there were no parental guardians, no one to ask them to go study, no one to tell them bring your homework, you know, and no one to tell them what to do. You know, we saw where some of them were saying that they grew up even before they were supposed to grow up. No one, you know, it's like, if you are a 6-year-old child and someone has started sexually assaulting you at the age of 6 all the way to 12, what do you think? You're going to act like a grown-up, you know, and then that's when you want to cast the blame on the child. It is not fair. Sometimes we need to understand why people behave that way. We need to stop putting judgment on people, especially women. If you don't know someone's story, please ask, you know, and I'm trying to bring awareness to such issues, because most of the time most women are just cast away. They term us as rude, promiscuous, or, you know, why you like this, but you didn't ask her story. You didn't know what she has gone through. So my main focus for doing this is to bring awareness that things like this are happening. You know, when we leave our children back there, most of them are not being guided. They are just left alone. Some of them are housemates, houseboys, and when their parents call, they force them to say things, send money. We saw where education is the problem. Food and nutrition was another problem. Just imagine somebody eating 1 meal a day when the parent is sending money every month. I used to send money every month. I'm telling you guys, you know, if somebody is sending money every month for the upkeep of their children and they are only eating 1 meal a day, somebody is sending money for their children and they has been sexually assaulted because of our tradition. This tradition of children not being included in adult conversation, children not being around adults. We heard what one of the participants said. You don't know what they're doing back there. You don't know who is abusing them. You don't know who is assaulting them, you know. So this our culture, man. Also the culture of silence when things like this are happening. My question is how long can we go after sexual assault predators who assaulted a child, even though it's been so long? Because had my son told me that he was sexually assaulted, I would have gone after that person. I'm telling you, those who know me knows I'll do that. You know, so that's why I was asking that question. You know, we saw where even the clothing the parents were sending for their children, you know, it was not given to them. How can you keep your own child at home and take your friends or your sister's kids and turn them into slave? Let a child stay home for 2 years not going to school and just because you want her to take care of your own children. It is not done. Una say this thing are not fine. Where people and they left them people and they go act so nice. However, we see the people then turn them back when I turn them picking them to slave. It's not good. It is not good. Turning someone's child into house boy or house girl, it's not done. You know, we leave our children back there because we trust people, you know. So this is what I'm saying. I hope and pray that a lot of people had a grandma and grandpa like Marie, you know, so that really cares for our children. Those are hurt when we leave them behind. When I pull this money business come up there, but for take care of them picking them, and when I try for focus on the picking them, man, people and they trust una for let them picking and give una. You know, it's not done. It's really not done, especially the sexual assault part. It really breaks my heart. It breaks my heart that happened to her. You know, it's happening to a lot of girls. We just saw where Khadija was raped and killed. And it didn't just start with Khadija and it didn't end with her. You know, so we know it's happening. And that is why we are appealing to parents. We are appealing to even the government. You know, when things like this happen, these people need to pay for what they're doing. You know, and I hope most of these guys, especially those who abused Audrey, when they see this video, I hope they have some conscience, especially that older one, to reach out to the parent and really apologize for what he did. You know, so thank you everybody for watching. I want to thank all my participants. I want to thank the parents who took their time to do the interviews, and I also want to thank my friends, family, Auntie Ayasan, and I want to thank my sister and all those who were involved in taking care of my son. So thank you guys for doing what you did for me, and thank those who are doing what they are doing for their own relatives as well. So thank you everyone. Follow me on Facebook.